All right, hey guys, Sam here with you. We're midday on Thursday, March 22nd, and as you probably know by now, as we do whenever we're doing a video analysis, we put it to vote amongst the members, and our second contender today is NEO to the dollar tether. I've got it up here on, this is the 3-hour NEO to the tether on Binance. And we're going to take a look at this. Just before I do that, I just want to mention, because we've got a new YouTube channel, and I just want people to be aware of it. So if you're interested in any of the other asset classes or this approach, which you'll find is applicable to any asset class, doesn't matter. But if you're interested, if you're looking to diversify, or you are currently diversified into either equities, futures, or Forex, we've just launched this new channel here. And the distinction between the two, Trade Devil singular, is just cryptocurrency. Trade Devils with the S, if you're looking for it, will have the equities, futures, and Forex. First video just went up yesterday, happened to be on Tesla. That's probably worth a look. If you're interested in any of these markets here, I think you'll be surprised if you've not seen it before, that everything that I teach you on cryptocurrencies is equally applicable to any market. Chart, it doesn't matter. Chart's a chart, and the way to approach it is exactly the same. So with that little promo out of the way, let's go over to NEO here. So looking at it now, so we gotta get some perspective here. So relative to Binance, we have our all-time low here. So this was a little bit of a squeeze here, a little bit of, I had to back into this to get the handle here. We can see this 5 waves down. It's very similar to Bitcoin actually in terms of the chart here, although we've gone deeper now. So if we look at this, of course, the first thing we're going to do, we have an internal retracement. We haven't taken out these lows. So if we just go from swing low to swing high and get it right on there, well, you can see the first, we went to the 786, right? So you can see, look how this plays out. So first thing we go, golden zone, reaction. Then we come to the 50, reaction, golden zone, right to the 618, reaction, gets through it all the way to the 786, reaction, we come back, golden zone. Now we're through the 786 this time, but I was just kind of curious, so I took a look at this and threw this up here. So if you throw the 887 on here, which is not to be forgotten, this 887 is a square root of 786. All right, so we catches that almost to the tick, right? So it's deep. We are still, technically, this is still an internal retracement, albeit a very deep one. But look how we get that. So interesting here. So look how technical this has been. We've hit every significant zone that you'd expect, right? Bang, 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 and then finally we finish on the 887. So is that complete? Well, you could certainly make a reasonable case, particularly since we come down here and we finish. Looks like we're finishing in 5. So we don't know, but we can hypothesize here that we've got a technical pivot here for a couple of different reasons. Now I had to get, it's a little tricky here to get this. So I think what we have here is ABC because we finish in 5 here. So I had to go to the 1 hour to get the ABC here for our W wave, and then we get the 3 into our X, 5 down for the A. Yeah, it's a little bit of a scrunch to get it to fit, but we do get, there's 3 waves in the B, and then you'd count this as the A, B, and then we finish in 5 for the C. Down for the final 5, it would appear to give us our C down here. So the idea being that I've got a technical pivot down here, and potentially now I've got a 1-2 just shaping up here. So what else can I do to qualify this pivot, which is always the name of the game? Can I add some confluence? Well, we know the 887 is right there. If I look here, it looks to me like I've got a 1, 2, 3. Here's my ABC into my 4, and then I rip down in 5. So just kind of measuring, what I would do with any 5-wave structure, just looking to qualify the pivot low. So you can see here, if I get from my 2, my 3, we get the little ABC right to the 23.6, prime spot for a 4th. I get the 3-wave subdivision I'm looking for down to the first algo target, reaction, but then they actually get their second one, and that's where we get the pop. So is that complete? Well, you can make a pretty strong case here that we have a significantly technical pivot. So if knowing that I'm going to deal with resistance on the way back up, first spot I got to deal with is the 50. Then, of course, the golden zone here. Can we get through that? Well, you want to know that they're there. So you don't want to just take it off and now just be blindly thinking, oh, 1, 2. Well, that's what we'd be hoping for here. is that, assuming you're a bull, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we're looking for. But we can't be just oblivious to the fact that we're going to deal with, at the very least, that. So you might look at that and say, well, how could that fit in to the roadmap here I'm trying to carve out? If that's a 1, 2, oops, if I'm going to go down here and get a second, well, we can, let me zoom in. Well, let's go down to the hourly. We can zoom in a little bit here now. Let me zoom in on this. So we can look here and say, okay, well, that's it's very similar to Bitcoin. So we've got the shallow 2 is a little bit problematic. We don't love that, but we can squeeze out 5 out of that. It looks to me like we might be still shaping into the A wave there. So from our swing low to our swing high, that could do it right here. So we've got the point of control here, this dashed line here relative to the volume profile. That's the highest amount of trading volume occurred right at this price. So, that doesn't surprise me that we're getting a little reaction here. Now, ideally, we'd like that second wave to come between the 50 and the 618. Doesn't always cooperate, but that's the ideal zone. So if this is going to be a 5 wave down, that's potentially our A wave. So all this going in here is the A wave. Very common for the A wave to go to the 50. Then we get the push. Let's slide this over a little bit. Oh, let's get rid of it. How about that? Then we get the push up for the B. That's the attempt to try and challenge those highs. If that rolls over, then that sets up the 3 waves down for the C. So, that could have been it. There's no question about it. If I were being picky about it, I'd be waiting, right? So that's the zone that I want. So I would have an alarm sitting right here just in front. Typically, it's going to be front run if they're going to buy it there. Front run on the 50. Looking for anywhere in this zone to be that buy zone. I'd like to see a better B wave here than, trying to get that as the B, on the hourly. I'd like to see a little bit more definition here. So a little bit more clarity here in terms of a 3 wave. Now it doesn't always have to look like you'd expect it in your textbook, but that's the kind of shape that we'd look for and the symmetry we'd want to see in terms of length of time and the complexity being available to us here. We know it can go as deep as the 786, but that's the buy zone right there. So I would be waiting for that myself. See if we can get that a little bit lower. But all of the ingredients are there for this to be a good pivot. So as in so much of crypto now, we've had these long, since the first of the year, we've had the long bear market. 3.5 months of bear market. In crypto, that's an eternity. So we've had this long sell-off as everything has gone deep retracements, a lot of 786s. Do we have a new trend starting here? Well, of course, bulls are hopeful of that. It's reasonable. So as a technician, you can be fairly objective here and say, well, what do we have? We have the potential for our first higher low. That assumes we get the reaction out of here. So we have the potential for a trend change. We have all of the ingredients that we'd look for. We've come down with all of the separation and the pattern and the price and the fib relationships, all there. So we have a contender here as a hard low, end of the correction. Do we get a 1, 2, 3? Well, we don't know, but we know that if we can get a higher low here, and we can bounce off of that, then all the ingredients are in place for this to be working as well. This would be a 1 wave, right? So it would be a 1 wave coming out of this long low. So if you think about the upside potential here, we got to pull it way back out. So I'd have to I'll go to the 4 hour, and you look at that and say, okay, well, where could we be going? Well, if that would be the first target here. I've got to get through that 618, but it all kind of sets itself up. It's all the ingredients are there for that to play. So even if I put the wave on that, you can kind of see what we're after here. Can we shape up for this as a 1, 2? Well, that's the wave you want if you can catch it here. So that's a reasonable place to be a buyer. I would certainly be looking to be a buyer in that range between the 50 and the 618. Can we get the turn and can we get the push up to set up the 3? Now it doesn't guarantee. That's the thing about LA wave. We can't guarantee that we've got a 3, 4, 5 until we see the reaction at the 4, because a 1, 2, 3 looks a lot like an ABC. So you can't qualify it until you see the reaction at the 4. Do we get the push from the 4 to the 5? Then we confirm this low. Then we know we've got a 1 wave that's done. So then we've got a big 1. Then we trade the 2. Now we're talking about going up to challenge the old highs. That's the roadmap we're trying to construct here. And so far, we've got just the ingredients so far for a good pivot, right? I mean, it was here. We've had it multiple times. So we don't know, but it's a contender. So this is a reasonable place to be looking to get long in this coin. We know it's a strong contender over here. I mean, look at the scoring over here. We know NEO is one of the majors, right? Its market cap is pushing it's 4.5 billion. Look at the scoring here, 75, 84 amongst the development community. Very, very strong. It's a great project, right? Going to be one of the major players. So that's just what you'd want to see. Right? I mean, if we've got to endure the correction, this is what we've been waiting for. The 1-2 to finally set up. Well, there it is, right? As pretty as it can be. Now, can we get this? Well, we'll see. All right, guys, that's not too long today. So hopefully those of you that have endured my long-winded videos, this is a refreshing pause here. Nothing very complicated here, just great risk reward. You've got that setting up for you, so I'd be patient. I'd wait for it personally. I'd wait to at least get to the revisit of the 50 before I'd look to get long there. All right, guys, that'll do it for today.